Look, you and I, we're just standing here. The Earth, it doesn't move.
Yes, it does.
The drill floor called and told me.
We have a well control situation.
This is the moment you hope will never happen in your entire life.
What's it do, this thing you're making?
Well, you give it problems, mathematical problems, and it solves them very quickly.
Like an adding machine?
No, it's more than that. We're trying to make a machine that can learn things and eventually think for itself.
The waters are toxic. People who are already sick are bathing in them. They're giving us their savings as well as their faith in the hope of a cure.
It's only one set of experiments, so this is completely premature. But I think I may have figured out how to cure cancer.
If you enjoy science and great storytelling, we've got you covered. This is the Relativity Series from LA Theatre Works and the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation, bridging science and the arts in the modern world. Hello, and welcome to our new series. My name is Ron Lipkin, and I'm the senior radio producer for LA Theatre Works. I have to admit, I'm a bit of a science nerd. I'm really into astronomy and spaceflight, Star Trek, audio equipment, baseball stats. Well, I think you get the idea. So I'm glad to be your tour guide through our stories, presenting science as a thoroughly human endeavor. Which brings us to our first story. Well, here's the deal. You've got this single industry small town. They've got natural spa baths that everyone depends on for their livelihood. You know, tourism, hospitality, it's all tied into the baths. So, what happens when the town officials discover the waters are dangerously polluted? It's a scientific, ethical, and economic dilemma that's, let's face it, entirely too relevant and familiar to us today. Here's part one of An Enemy of the People by Henrik Ibsen, in a translation by Rebecca Lenkiewicz, recorded before an audience at UCLA's James Bridges Theater, starring Rosalind Ayres, Gregory Harrison, Richard Kind, Alan Mandell, John Matthews, Alan Shearman, Josh Stamberg, Emily Swallow, and Tom Virtue, directed by Martin Jarvis.
This is wonderful.
It can't be. It's cold.
No, it's absolutely fantastic, Mrs. Stockman. Beef, my favorite.
My husband, he has very fixed ideas about what time he eats.
I'm so sorry I was late, but really, this suits me to a T. It's all the joy of eating and the added bliss of not having to talk to anyone.
As long as you're happy, Mr. Billing. Oh, that must be Mr. Hovstad. Excuse me.
Oh, you took your time, Huff.
Good evening, Catherine.
Oh, Peter, I thought it was... Good evening. We weren't... This is a pleasant surprise.
I was in the area. Ah, I see it's not a good time.
Oh, no, not at all. Come, sit down. Have you eaten?
A cooked meal after 6? No.
Oh, just the once would do no harm, would it?
I've had my tea and sandwich. Economy.
Are you implying that Thomas and I are decadents?
No, not you. Never you. Is he in his study?
No, he's taken the boys for a walk.
Is that advisable so soon after eating? Well, that's them, is it?
I don't think it can be them yet. Come in.
Hello, Mrs. Stockman.
Oh, Mr. Hofstad?
Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. I had to finish up at the paper. Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening. Business with my brother, is it?
Partly.
Oh, he's become the darling of the people's messenger, hasn't he?
He writes when he feels something ought to be said.
Won't you have something to eat, Mr. Hofstad, please?
Yes, well, he's writing to the converted, isn't he? I'm not saying that your newspaper is a bad one, Mr. Hofstad.
No? Well, thank you.
Well, there's a tolerance here, a community spirit that I applaud because we have a strong communal interest, a mutual concern.
The baths.
Exactly, yes. You can quote me on this, sir. Those baths will prove the very lifeblood of our community. We've had a boom here over the past 2 or 3 years. The quality of life, property's gone up, rents are higher.
More jobs.
Yes, absolutely. What we really need is top-quality invalids. They'd be a very good advertisement for the baths.
They say it's going to be a busy summer.
Well, every day there's inquiries about accommodation.
Oh, the doctor's article will be very timely then.
Oh, he's written another one, has he?
He wrote it last winter about the baths. I kept it back, though.
Something wrong with it?
No. I just thought the spring was better timing with people planning their holidays here.
Well done, Mr. Hovstad.
Thomas's every thought lately is about the baths.
It's his living.
It was his brainchild, wasn't it?
Was it? Was it really? Yeah, I've heard that opinion bandied about. I must say I labored under the illusion that my contribution was no small part of the baths coming into being.
The baths could never have happened without you. Thomas has always said that.
No one would question that, sir. The funding, the construction, I only meant that it was the doctor's idea, originally.
Well, Thomas has always had ideas. He's that way inclined. But when things have to be done, it requires a different sort of person, Mr. Hovstad. And I would have thought that in this house, especially, it would be recognized that my contribution...
Of course, Peter.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to...
Please, Mr. Hofstadt, why don't you go in and join Mr. Billing, please? My husband will be home any minute.
Thank you, I will. Ah, Billing, there you are, already eating.
Help yourself, Hoff.
That's the thing about folk without background. They never learn tact, do they?
He didn't mean anything by it. You and Thomas are brothers. You must simply share the honors.
Quite. Only it seems not everyone's prepared to share.
Boys, come along.
That's him, I think.
All right, boys, upstairs, please, upstairs. Hello, Catherine. Look who I bumped into just down the street. Come in, Captain Horster. Give me your coat. You haven't got one. I practically had to kidnap him to get him back here into the warm.
Good evening, Mrs. Stockman.
Captain.
Just a moment. Now then, boys, hands, wash, then in and eat. Catherine, they're ravenous again, permanently hungry. Now, Captain Horster, you are going to sample the finest roast beef you've ever had. Come on, please.
Thomas, your brother.
What? Oh. Hello, Peter. Oh, it's good to see you. Go in, please, Captain.
Well, I'm afraid I can't stay, Thomas.
Why not? Have a hot toddy.
Yes, do. The kettle's just boiling. Oh, Olive, put it down. Morten, take your elbows off the table. Boys, have you really washed your hands?
Toddy?
Whiskey and lemon, is it?
Yes, Sid, I'll get you one.
Thank you. No, I don't partake in drinking parties.
It's not exactly a party.
Yes, well, anyhow. Those boys, they'll eat you out of house and home.
I hope they do. Young people should eat. These boys, they're more like bears than bear cubs, which is as it should be. If they don't eat, they don't grow. And if they don't grow, then there's no one to look out for the world when we're gone, is there? And that would be just Grizz.
Grizz? What do you mean by Grizz?
No idea. We'll just have to ask Morten and I leave. We can't see what the world needs. They'll see when the time comes. Peter, we're middle-aged. Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs,
Don't look so serious, Pete. What? I just feel good. Is that a crime? It's a wonderful time to be alive, isn't it? Everything feels like it's just on the edge of a fantastic explosion. It's all growing, blooming. It's as if a whole new age were being birthed in front of our very eyes.
Birthed?
Peter, it's different for you. You've been here watching it all flower and evolve. You've witnessed the changes amassing, but I've been stuck for years in that stagnant backwater with the same old faces and their inane questions drilling a hole in my brain. But now, I feel as though I've moved into an incredible metropolis.
Metropolis?
People have a purpose here. There are things to really work and fight for. And, well, that's all that matters in the end. Oh, Catherine, was there any post?
No.
No. And to be able to support my family, finally, Peter, it's fantastic. It was pretty grim. It's very good to be here.
Come on now.
No, I'm sorry, but it was. Tough. Bleak. Now we can live like kings. Do you like the tablecloth? I picked up that lamp, too.
Yes, I noticed that.
And the shade. Oh, it's all from what Catherine has managed to save. It's cozy, no? Come and stand here, please. No, not there. Come over here. Here, now look. You see how the light filters downwards at that angle? It's quite beautiful, don't you think?
If you like that sort of thing.
I do. Catherine says I earn almost as much as I spend now.
Almost?
A man of science needs a few aesthetic luxuries. I'm sure your average magistrate spends much more in a year than I do.
They can afford to.
My only luxury is entertaining. I've always needed people around me, you know that. And I've been in that godforsaken place for Christ for too long. I need to hear new ideas, opinions. Those men and those boys in there eating, laughing. They have lively, wonderful minds. You should get to know Hovstad. He's quite incredible.
Yeah, he said he's publishing another of your Stockman articles.
Is he?
Yeah, about the baths from last winter.
Oh, that. No. I don't want them to print that anymore.
Why not? It'd be good for trade.
Yes, normally it would.
What do you mean? Well, what is it?
I can't say. Not yet. Not tonight, at any rate. Everything may be extraordinary, Peter, or everything may be ordinary. It might all be just a trick of the light.
Why are you being so mysterious? What can't you tell me? I'm chairman of the Baths Committee. If anyone ought to know what's going on, it should be me.
The chairman. Yes. Chair. Man. Whilst I was... No. Never mind. Forget it.
Anything pertaining to matters in the town should be dealt with through the correct channels, nothing underhand.
When was I ever involved with something underhand?
It's just you've always done things... You were always different. You can't stay like that if you want to be part of the community. There's a system here. You've got to toe the line with the people, more specifically with the authorities who are dealing with the public's good.
The authorities? What the hell's that got to do with me?
You see, you never change. Excuse me, I have to go. Goodbye, Catherine. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening.
Good night.
Has he gone?
Yes. God, he just can't bear it.
Bear what? What did you say to him?
Nothing. What? Are you sure that there was no post?
A meal like that makes one feel reborn.
The mayor seemed a bit grizz.
Yes. Huh? It's his digestion. He suffers from acid.
Well, I don't expect we radicals go down too well in his digestive tract.
I thought you all got on.
It's a temporary truce.
Exactly, an ephemeral armistice.
Peter's very much on his own. He has no one to go home to, just his work. And tea. Gallons of tea. Come on, then, let's relax. Is that toddy ready, Catherine?
Yes, I'll bring it in.
Sit over here next to me, Horster. No. You never call. You should, sir. You should. Sit down, please. Sit down.
Thank you. Here we are, then. So, this is arak, rum, brandy. Oh, drink up.
Oh, this is perfect. Now, where are the cigars?
Right here.
You know, I have a suspicion Iliff pinches a cigar once in a while, but I pretend not to notice. Morten, can you find me my smoking cap? Please. And please, gentlemen, help yourself. Thank you, Morten. Help yourself to cigars, my friends. I am a pipe man myself. This old pipe's been a port in many a storm up north. Gentlemen, skål.
Skål.
That's, This is really bliss. You may take up your knitting, my dear.
Thank you, Thomas. I will. Will you be sailing soon, Captain Horster?
We hope to set sail next week.
To America?
Yes, with God's grace.
You won't get to vote in this coming council election.
Is there one? I never vote.
Oh, but you should. It's your right.
Even if you don't understand what you're voting for?
You sailors couldn't care less about what goes on dry land, could you?
It's very odd.
Sailors are like migrating birds. Wherever they are, that's their home. Which means the home birds have to be all the more vigilant. So, Mr. Hovstad, any gossip from tomorrow's messenger?
Yeah, nothing local. Your article's going in the day after tomorrow, though.
Oh, actually, you're just going to have to sit on that one.
Now's a good time for it.
Yes, but you'll have to wait.
Hello? Oh, hello, everyone.
Petra, you're back. Hello, sweetheart.
Let me take your cloak, Miss Stockman.
Oh, let me take your books, Petra.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Hovstad. Well, you've all been having a party while I've been out edifying the next generation.
Come and join the bacchanalian orgy, then, miss.
Drink, Miss Stockman?
Thank you. I'll do it. You make it so strong. Oh, I have a letter for you, Father.
What, from the school? What have I done? Have I been naughty?
The postman gave it to me just as I was leaving this morning.
This morning? Why didn't you say so? Why didn't you tell me?
I just did. I'm sorry. I didn't have time to run back with it. Let me see. Here it is.
Give it to me. Let me see it. Yes. This is it. Right.
Is it what you've been waiting for, Thomas?
Yes. Yes, I'll just go. I need to... I'll be in the study. Don't let the boys run in.
I won't.
Excuse me a moment.
What is it?
I don't know. He's been waiting for it in a fever for the past week.
He's been working like a maniac these last few months.
Petra.
What? That tastes good.
Were you at your evening classes tonight?
Yes.
And 4 hours teaching?
5.
And you brought all of those books back with you?
Oh, they need marking.
Well, it seems like your father is not the only one who's...
Working like a maniac.
Well, I like it. I like the feeling of being so ecstatically tired you could drop.
Ecstatically?
Yes, you sleep very soundly after falling from such a high desk.
You must be very wicked.
Wicked?
My old teacher said work was a punishment for our sins.
Oh, well, perhaps I am. My little brother Eilif is a heathen, you know.
Oh. Rubbish.
He told Morten he wanted to be a Viking, and Morten said he'd have to be a heathen to become one, so now he's resolved to give up religion.
Petra.
I'm with him there. Tell your little brother that's just the way I feel.
You're being ironic, Mr. Billing.
I assure you I'm not. I am a heathen and proud. Before long, we'll all jump ship. Eh, Captain?
And lead a life of unmitigated pleasure.
Petra, darling.
Mother, we're just talking.
I don't like that sort of talk, not here in the home.
Oh, everyone's terrified of the truth. I have to censor myself in my own home, and I have to preach lies to the children at school.
You lie to them?
I'm paid to teach them things I don't believe in myself.
Bureaucracy, you see?
If I had the money, I'd start my own school. I'd do things very differently.
Money, yes, ghastly money.
Well, if you're serious about it, Miss Stockman, and if it's simply space you need, you'd be welcome at my late father's house. There's a huge dining room downstairs going to waste.
Oh, thank you. But I don't suppose I'll really do it.
Well, I think you should seriously consider journalism, Miss Petra. By the way, have you read that novel you were going to translate for us?
Oh, I haven't, but don't worry. I'll get your draft in on time.
News. Incredible news.
Where's the fire?
What is it, Tom?
A great discovery has been made, Catherine.
About what? Who's discovered what?
Now let them tell me I'm imagining things, huh? Yes, voices in my head. Yes, really, they'll have to be very careful now. Yes, very, very careful.
What's going on, Pa?
Give me a moment, just one moment. Oh, God. How I wish Peter was here. It just goes to show how blind people can be.
Who is blind, Doctor?
This town purports to be a place of infinite health, doesn't it?
It's a spa.
Exactly. Actively brilliant for those who are infirm, or even for those who are not, but seek the wonders of the waters, yes?
Yes, Thomas, please.
And we ourselves, we've placed it on a pedestal, have we not? I've written eulogies, thousands of words of copy about its benefits, have I not?
Yes, you have.
Well, these baths, my friend, these baths, which have been coined the artery of the town, the central nervous system,
the pulsating heart of our idyllic town, I once called them, after a particularly boozy lunchtime.
Do you know what they really are, these beloved baths of ours into which we've poured our blood and money? Do you know what they are?
What are they?
They are nothing but a damned cesspit.
The baths, Pa?
Our
Doctor,
baths?
What do you mean?
These baths are a contaminated death trap. They are a health hazard of the highest degree. All of that filth up at Moladal, you know, all the stinking refuse and the scum from the tanneries, it's all filtered through to the water in the pump room pipes. It's contaminated them. And it's infected the seaweed baths, too. The whole place is toxic.
What? Where has this come from?
I've been studying it a while now. I knew that something was wrong. Last year, there was an abnormal number of typhoid cases among the visitors. And gastric troubles?
I remember.
Yes, we thought that they'd simply brought their illnesses with them. But then I started seeing holes in that theory. I've been analyzing the waters as far as I've been able to.
That's what you've been working on these past months.
Yes, now I've no real kit as such. So, I sent the specimens of fresh and salt water to the university laboratories.
And they've come back to you about it?
It's all here. It establishes conclusively that the water is riddled with toxins, millions of bacteria. It's dangerous to wash in, let alone drink.
Thank God you found out.
Yes.
Well, what can they do about it?
I think I know how we can put it right.
Why didn't you say something? Why did you keep this whole thing to yourself?
I should have taken Eilif's trumpet around town, gathered people together to hear the local mad scientist, before I had this solid evidence? No.
But us, Pa, you might have told us.
Tomorrow. You can race along to the old Badger. You tell him.
Thomas.
Sorry, your father. He thinks I'm mental, you know. Him and all the rest. It's going to be chaos, Catherine. Carnage. Do you see what they're going to have to do? They're going to have to relay every single water pipe.
You mean the whole system?
It has to be done. They started the intake too low down the hill. They've got to reroute the whole mess a few feet higher.
Which is what you said in the first place.
You remember, I did. I petitioned against the original plans, but they all refused to listen. I've written a full report for the Baths Committee. It's been sat on my desk for a week now, just waiting for confirmation. Wait a minute. It's in my study. Here it is. 10 pages, single spacing. I'll put the results in with it. Have we got a newspaper, Catherine?
Here.
Thank you. Yes, I'll wrap the pages in it. There, good. Now, give it to, I can never remember her name, the maid. Tell her to take it to my brothers, to leave whatever she's doing, yes?
I'll give it to her.
What do you think Uncle Peter will say, Pa?
What is there to say? Well, he'll be very glad that it's come to light.
I could put a notice in the messenger.
Yes, that would be useful, very useful.
People should know about this as soon as possible.
Absolutely, yes. Catherine?
Yes, I gave it to her. She's taking it.
You'll be the man of the year, Doctor, a local hero.
I'm only doing my work. I dug for treasure. I found it. Nothing more. Still.
Hovstad, we should have a torchlit procession in honor of the doctor.
Absolutely, do it.
I'll get Aslaksen the printer on it.
No, please, friends, no fuss. Nothing like that. And if the Baths Committee offers me a raise, I'll just say no. No.
You're a good man, Thomas.
Skull, Pa.
Skull. Here's wishing you joy, nothing but joy with your new discovery.
Thank you, my dear friends, thank you. I am so deeply... Oh, to have the respect of one's fellow men. Now, Catherine, it's beautiful, isn't it? Isn't it? Come here, sweetheart.
Oh, put me down, Tom, put me down. Thomas? Oh, you're here.
Yes, I've just got in.
Letter for you. It's from Peter.
Ah. What does he say? I return herewith the manuscript you sent me. Huh.
What?
He'll be here at noon.
Good. And you're not going out again. You've finished your rounds?
I have.
How do you think he'll take it?
He won't like it. That I made the discovery and not him.
Tom.
Don't worry. Peter hates anyone doing good for the town other than himself. But he will be delighted, deep down.
Perhaps you should say you discovered it together, that it was he who suggested you carry out the research.
Listen, as long as we can fix it, I don't care who takes the credit.
Hello? Is it true?
Morten Keel, hello. Good morning.
Are you coming in or not, Father?
I am, if it's true.
If what's true?
Oh, this wonderful fiction about the water system. Is it true, eh?
It's all true. Who have you been talking to?
Oh, Petra came by on her way to the school.
Oh, did she now? That was very thoughtful of her.
Told me all about it. I thought she was joking, winding me round her little finger.
Why would she want to do that?
Oh, trust no one. You get led down a blind alley before you know you're there. Is it true what she said?
Please, come, sit down.
Oh, yes, thank you.
It's a good job for everyone that it's all come out, isn't it?
A good job.
That I found out sooner rather than later.
Oh, absolutely. So you're playing monkey tricks on your brother.
Monkey tricks?
Oh, darling.
What was it? Animals are swimming around the pipes?
Yes, bacteria. Yes.
Masses of them, Petra says. Battalions of bacteria lashing and splashing around.
Millions, yes.
But you can't see any of them, can you?
No, sir, no. They're invisible to the naked eye.
Well, you've finally developed a sense of humor, my boy.
What?
Well, you won't fool the mayor, though. He's not a child.
I'm hoping the whole town will be children if it takes a child to believe it.
You're going to tell everybody? Oh, good. Teach them all a lesson. They hounded me off that council as if I were a dog. You go ahead and play monkey tricks on them, Stockman.
Listen, sir.
Do it. Monkey tricks. If you can put the council's nose out of joint, I'll write a check for 100 crowns and send it to the workhouse today.
That's very kind.
I'm not rich, but if you harangue those bastards, I'll give 50 crowns to the homeless Christmas dinner.
Good morning. Hello. Oh, sorry. Should I come back in a bit?
No. It's just my father-in-law. Please, come in, Hovstad.
Oh, is he in on this too?
I'm sorry?
He is, yes.
Unbelievable. You're going to print it all up? Oh, I take my hat off to you, Stockman. I really do. Well, I'm off. The two of you. Yes. So get on with it. Get on with it.
You only just got here.
Nevertheless, every trick in the book, mind. I'll see you right.
Come on, Father. I'll walk you out.
Hovstad, he doesn't believe a single word of it. The bacteria, the pipes.
Oh, that's what he was talking about. Listen, do you have a moment?
Yes, of course.
Have you heard back from your brother?
He's coming over later.
I've been thinking.
I won't tell anyone.
What? Oh, it's just, you're a man of science. You think of all this technically. It's a chemical problem. The thing is, you don't see the wider implications.
I'm sorry, I'm not quite with you. Please, sit down.
You said the source of the pollution was impurity in the soil.
Yes, it originates in the swamp at Molodal.
Right. Well, I believe the true origin of it is elsewhere.
Where?
It's the infested swamp in which our whole community is quietly rotting.
You're speaking metaphorically.
Little by little, this whole town has fallen into the hands of an exclusive clique of bureaucratic civil servants.
They're not all civil servants.
Those who aren't hang on to the tails of those who are. Basically, it's the rich old money, and they dictate to us.
There are some intelligent men in that crowd, astute men.
Who was being astute when they laid down the system? They sited the pipes so low that they polluted the whole town. Was that intelligent?
No, that was stupid. But we're fixing that.
Are we?
Of course we are.
If the press has its way, then yes, we'll repair the damage.
It's not a question of the press. My brother will...
I intend to shout about it.
In print.
When I took over this paper, it was because I wanted to break up this ring of ancient bigots.
And when you attacked them, you were almost forced to shut up shop.
We had to be on the back foot for a while. If the men we'd targeted had been run out of office, the baths would never have been built. But now their money is secure. It's in the fabric of the buildings, in the bricks. We don't need to be nice to them anymore.
We still owe them some sort of gratitude.
Possibly. But I set up my paper to tell the truth, not to kowtow to whoever happens to be rich. I'm going to destroy the myth of their brilliance. I'm going to smash their reputations down like hollow, rotten trees.
If there's rot, it must be attended to.
I don't want to involve your brother. If I could avoid that, I would. I really would. But we're talking about something bigger than blood, aren't we? You, me, we seek the truth, don't we, above everything else?
We do. We do. But, well...
I'm only doing what's right. I'm no more ambitious or self-seeking than the next man.
I know that.
I grew up with nothing. I know what the poor need. It's to have a say in local affairs, a voice. That's the way towards achieving something better. Freedom. It's the path to knowledge, dignity.
I agree.
A journalist neglects his mission if he ignores an opportunity to achieve emancipation for the oppressed. Now, the fat cats will call me a demagogue. I don't care. My conscience is clear.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And yet... Who's that? Come in, come in.
I hope you'll forgive the intrusion, Doctor.
Oh, hello. You're the printer, aren't you, Mr. Aslaksen?
I am, sir.
Did you need me, Aslaksen?
Oh, no. Point of fact, I had no idea you were here. No, it was the doctor I wanted to...
What can I do for you?
Well, I just wondered if it was true, sir, what I heard from Mr. Billing about you wanting to improve the water system.
Yes, it is.
Ah, well, I just came round to offer my support, Doctor.
You see?
Well, thank you. I'm not quite...
Just, you might find it helpful, having tradesmen behind you. We're a pretty strong force when we have a mind to get together. Always good to have the majority behind you, Doctor.
Thank you, yes, but in this case, everything is pretty straightforward, so I don't see that I'll need it.
Well, as you say, sir, but you still might need a hand. I've had dealings with the council. They hate anything coming in from the outside. I thought we might have a little picket.
It's a good idea.
What? What are we picketing against?
I'm not talking about a riot, sir. Just a quiet show of feeling. Restraint is a wonderful thing, Doctor.
Restraint?
This water issue, it's vital to us, you see. We're sitting on a cash cow with the baths. They'll be our income from now on in, especially the homeowners. So as I say, we're with you all the way, Doctor.
Thank you.
Also, you see, I'm chairman of the Property Owners Association.
Ah,
And I'm on the board of the Temperance Society. You knew I was a temperance worker, did you?
Yes, yes.
My point being, I come into contact with a lot of people. I'm well liked. My say-so is often seen as a temperature gauge for the rest of the people. All I'm saying is, I could arrange an address if you needed one. A vote of thanks from the people of the town. Of course, I can't go overboard with it, or the powers that be will be unhappy, won't they?
I wouldn't bother about them.
Oh, we must, Mr. Hovstad. We can't afford to offend the authorities. They're our bread and butter. I've seen plenty of that in my time, and it's all blood and crap. Pardon my language. But a quiet show of support? Well, no man can be denied that privilege, can he?
My dear Aslaksen, I am really touched. I am really touched. Can I get you a sherry?
Oh, no. I never touch spirits.
A glass of beer, then. Just the one.
No, thank you, Doctor. It's a bit early in the day for me. I should get back. Lay the ground for all this.
It's terribly kind of you, Mr. Aslaksen. But I hate to think you're wasting your time. I really think the matter will resolve itself very simply.
Bureaucracy works very slowly here, Doctor. Don't quote me on that.
We'll start rousing the rabble in tomorrow's paper, Aslaksen.
As long as you proceed with moderation, Mr. Hovstad. Restraint. Otherwise, you're on a trip to nowhere. I've seen it all, me, and it's not very clever. Well, cheerio, then. You know now, we're behind you, Doctor. Like a wall. Solid. United.
Thank you, Mr. Aslaksen. Goodbye.
Are you, coming back with me, Mr. Hovstad?
I'll be down in a while. I've a few things to attend to.
Yes. Good. Right. Well, then, yes.
Goodbye. Thank you.
You see what I mean? Everyone in this town has mislaid a backbone.
Aslaksen?
Aslaksen, all of them. I mean, he's all right, but he's an invertebrate. Along with all the others in this liberal-minded swamp, they're all so damn stagnant.
He seems decent enough.
Decent. You've got to have courage. The courage of your own convictions. Know your own mind. I want to get these men to stand up for themselves. To stop doffing their damn caps to the bosses. The baths are endangering people's lives for profit. And the people have a right to know.
Let me talk to my brother first.
I'll prep the editorial, and if the mayor's response is in any way obstructive...
It won't be.
What's your plan if he doesn't cooperate?
He will. If he opposes immediate action, even for a moment, then you can print the whole of my report whenever it suits you.
You'd let me do that? You give me your word?
Absolutely. Here's the manuscript. It's yours. You'll be giving it back to me before you've even had a chance to read it.
I hope so. Thanks. Goodbye, Doctor.
Goodbye. Hovstad, this will all be sorted very simply. Really.
Courage. That's all we need. Bye.
Catherine. Oh, hello, Petra. I didn't know you were here.
I just got back.
He's not here yet.
No, I just had a chat with Hovstad. He's very excited about it all. He says the newspaper is at my disposal, should I need it.
Why would you?
Well, no reason, but it's always good to have the press on your side. And then the chairman of the Property Owners Association, he was here. Do you realize what I have behind me, Catherine?
What?
The solid majority.
And that's good, is it?
Hello? Thomas?
Oh, that's him. Come through, Peter.
Good morning.
Hello, Peter.
Hello, Uncle.
Good morning, Peter. How are you?
Adequate, thank you. Late last night, Thomas, I received your communication about the baths.
And you've read it?
I have.
And?
Ladies, would you mind?
Petra, come on.
Excuse us, Uncle.
Well, it's been over a year since you started probing into this. You didn't think to discuss it with me.
I wanted to be sure of the facts.
And now you are?
You've read them.
Mm-hmm. And you propose to give the results and your statement to the Baths Committee?
Yes. They've got to do something about it immediately.
All we can offer our visitors at present is the promise of poisoning, paralysis, and pestilence.
Very good use of alliteration for dramatic effect.
It's fact, not drama. The waters are toxic. People who are already sick are bathing in them. They're giving us their savings as well as their faith in the hope of a cure. They're drinking it, for Christ's sake.
Mm-hmm. You recommend we drain the whole of the Moladal swamp and then reroute the miles of water pipes.
It's got to be done.
I saw the town engineer this morning. I sounded him out gently about possible future work.
Now, Peter, it's got to be now.
He smiled at me as if I were a lunatic. Do you have any idea how much we're talking here? A starting cost of several 100,000 crowns.
Really? That much?
2 years we're talking about.
No, surely they can fix it quicker than that.
2 years minimum. Meantime, what do? We close the baths. We'd have no choice. Not a soul would come here anyway if word of this filtered out.
Well, I don't see an alternative, do you?
Everyone who's booked to come here will stay at the neighboring towns instead. They'll cash in on our lost trade. Our repairs budget will doubtless dry up halfway through reconstruction. Basically, you intend to cripple this town.
I? Cripple?
Our only revenue is as a spa town. So you tell me now, how will we survive?
I don't see what else we can do.
I think you're exaggerating the situation.
If anything, I'm underplaying it. Once the summer comes, it's going to be a hotbed of disease.
The established water supply to the baths is now a fact and must be treated as such. I expect the committee can be persuaded to make a few gradual improvements.
No, Peter, it's got to be a complete overhaul. Peter, you can't hush this up.
Hush what?
Oh, don't do that. You know me. I can't play along with lies.
Lies?
Council propaganda, veiling the fact.
But I just told you I'm not convinced there's actual danger.
Really? You don't think that these results, which state plainly the water is toxic, you don't think they point to a critical situation?
No.
And you're sure, of course you're sure, that it's not another aspect of this that's actually worrying you? It's not the fact that it was you who chose the original site. You dictated where to lay the pipes. You refused to lay them where I advised you to, and now you're terrified of looking incompetent, inept.
I am the moral guardian of this town. People look to me for... You cannot give your report to the Baths Committee. It has to be suppressed for the general good. I will bring it to their attention and we will discuss it, but all in good time and discreetly, and we will see what can be done about it. Nothing, not one word of this can go further than these four walls.
The wheels are in motion,
No,
Peter.
not a word,
It's too late. It's too late. People know.
Which people? You don't mean Hovstad and his rabble?
You can't silence a whole newspaper.
You never were very bright, Tom. You don't see the hole you've dug for yourself, do you?
I don't see any hole. Show me it.
It's a gaping great hole, big enough for you, your wife, your 3 children.
What are you saying?
I've helped you, haven't I?
And I've been grateful.
Oh, I don't want your gratitude. It's been as much for my sake as yours. Do you think someone in my position can afford to be associated with scandal?
You think I'm scandalous?
You invite controversy.
I do not.
Oh, you do. You have to shout and write about every new idea or complaint you have. You've got to read about your own anger in the paper before you can truly feel it.
It's my duty to share what I feel with the public.
You've always been a selfish bastard. Who got you that job at the baths?
Oh, there wouldn't have been any baths if I hadn't seen that this was the perfect climate for a spa town. I pushed the idea for years. I wrote about it. Pages of bloody reports I wrote.
You weren't even resident here. We were here. We knew when the time was right
and
for
then
it.
you mucked it all up, Pete. You and your brilliant, bloody associates.
You're aching for a fight, aren't you? You never could take authority, could you? I've told you what's at stake, and I'm not about to compromise.
So what will you do?
You've been stupid enough to... You're just going to have to retract the whole thing, publicly.
What did you just say?
You're going to find that you've been mistaken.
Am I?
You'll express your confidence in the committee and its commitment to ongoing improvements, which may be merely cosmetic.
You have to reroute the entire system,
As an
Peter.
employee, you haven't the right to tell me
I haven't
anything.
the right.
No, you work for me, Thomas. And you'll find in your contract that one of the rules is that you're not allowed to contradict a superior.
What? I'm a doctor. I'm a man of science, not a...
The world doesn't revolve around your science. It's about money.
Shit on your money. I never asked for your handouts. I'm free to express myself wherever I am.
Go on, you can say whatever you want, but you say one more word about the baths. You talk about them outside of this house, and I'll...
What? What? You're what?
I forbid you. I'm in charge of you, and what I say goes.
Oh, Christ, Peter, if you weren't my brother.
Pa, don't let him talk to you like that, Pa!
Wait, Petra, wait.
Ah, spies!
We'd need to be deaf not to hear you.
I heard you. I could quote every word.
Good, good.
You were ordering me around like a dog.
You push me, you really do.
And you expect me to deny the whole thing?
It's not negotiable.
And if I refuse?
We'll counter your report with our own.
Well, then I counter your riposte with my own. Then where do we stand?
Then you will be given your dismissal.
What?
Pa, your job.
You dismissal?
You'd be immediately released from your post as public medical officer, and we would issue a restraining order to prevent your being in the vicinity of the baths.
A what?
Your behavior makes it necessary.
Uncle, you can't do this to Pa. You just can't.
Not now, Petra.
So you have an opinion now too, Petra? Of course you do. Catherine, you're the only one in this house who exhibits any vestige of common sense. Talk to your husband. This affects all of you.
You'll leave my family out of this.
You are putting your family and your town at risk of destitution, Thomas.
I love this town. This is why I'm doing this. I was born here.
What, and you stand by and see its heart dry up and die?
Its heart is infected. Are you out of your mind, Peter? We're selling filth, trading disease. We're gaining sustenance from one huge, deadly lie.
The man who says such a thing is a traitor to society.
What did you call me?
Thomas.
Pa, please, Pa.
Ah, you'd like to hit me, wouldn't you? I've said my piece. I'll leave you now. To consider your wife, and Petra, and Eilif, and Morten, good morning.
In my own house. In my own house. Christ, Catherine!
I know, Thomas, it's horrible.
I wish I was a man.
He called me a traitor. He's going to regret that.
Thomas, darling, he's got everyone behind him.
But I have truth and honor on my side.
What good are they when you have no power?
Mother, how can you say that?
Just you watch, Catherine. I'm going to fight this battle to the death.
He's threatening you with dismissal.
Mother, you can't just think in terms of the family.
You can make your own living, Petra. What about the boys, Thomas? And me, what about us?
Catherine, if I give in to Peter, I would despair for the rest of my life.
And what about the boys' despair when there's no food to eat? We've been there before, Thomas, for years. For the first time, you can't forget it all so quickly.
Bureaucrats and lackeys, endeavoring to shackle a free man. It's abhorrent, isn't it, Catherine?
It is, but people are abhorrent. The world is not The boys, Thomas. Thomas, the boys
are my sons, and I am their father.
What will you do?
I want to be able to look my sons in the eye when they grow up into free men. I'll be in my study.
Oh, God. Oh, God, help us, for God's sake.
Father's right, Mother. Please. Mother.
Oh, God. Help us.
That was part one of An Enemy of the People by Henrik Ibsen, in a translation by Rebecca Lenkiewicz, directed by Martin Jarvis. Part 2 is available right now, so don't miss a thing. Please subscribe to the Relativity Series wherever you listen to podcasts. It's presented by LA Theater Works, Susan Loewenberg, producing director, and the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation, bridging science and the arts in the modern world.